Imagine you lock yourself in a bedroom, you stare directly into a camera lens, and you do absolutely nothing but count out loud to 100,000.
Just like a brutal psychological endurance test.
Right. It takes you 40 hours. You don't sleep. You barely eat. But for a teenager from North Carolina, it was actually the exact mathematical formula needed to crack the code of the modern attention economy. So welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
We have a massive stack of sources today for you. I mean, everything from financial breakdowns and biographical profiles to legal reports and entertainment news. And our mission today is to figure out how Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast, reverse-engineered human psychology.
Yeah, to build a $5.2 billion media and consumer empire by the time he was 28.
Which is just wild. And crucially, we're going to look at what happens when a hyper-optimized digital empire crashes violently into the messy reality of physical logistics.
Because this isn't just a story about a kid making popular videos on the internet. It really is a masterclass in behavioral psychology, and scalable business models.
And the sheer power of the modern attention economy.
Exactly. We're looking at a business landscape today that is completely unprecedented. The old rules of scaling a physical company, they simply do not apply when your primary currency is human attention.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the sheer scale of the numbers we're looking at in these sources is just staggering.
Oh yeah, mind-blowing.
We're talking about 485 million subscribers on his main channel alone. Over 122 billion total views.
That is a level of reach that traditional Hollywood studios would quite literally sell their souls for.
Totally. But to understand the billionaire, we really have to start with the obsessed teenager. Because if you follow Jimmy for a while, you know the early Mr. Beast 6,000 days.
Right, the Minecraft and Call of Duty gameplay stuff.
Yeah, and the comedic roundups of the worst intros on YouTube. But what most people miss is what happened when the camera was off.
Yeah, the sources refer to this as his obsession phase. In 2016, he dropped out of East Carolina University after just 2 weeks to pursue YouTube full-time.
Which did not go over well at home.
No, not at all. His mother actually kicked him out of the house for that decision. And that friction triggered this intense period where he and a small group of friends essentially locked themselves in a room for 10 to 15 hours a day.
But they weren't just making videos, right?
They were dissecting the platform. I mean, they looked at the algorithmic mechanisms. They analyzed what saturation levels in a thumbnail generate the highest click-through rate.
Wow.
They studied how the pacing of the first 10 seconds of a video dictates viewer retention. It was science.
It really makes me think of him not as an art student waiting for creative inspiration to strike, but rather like a data scientist trying to crack a casino slot machine.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, he realized that if he could just decode the winning pattern, the machine would pay out every single time.
Yeah.
And to map that out, the thumbnail is basically the flashing light pulling you across the casino floor to the machine.
Yeah.
The first 10 seconds of the video is the pull of the lever. And holding your attention past the midpoint, I mean, that's the payout.
That maps perfectly to the reality of strategy. And he cracked that machine in January 2017 with that counting to 100,000 video you mentioned.
Which is still just insane to think about.
He actually had to speed parts of the footage up just to keep the final upload under YouTube's 24-hour video limit. And it went massively viral. What's fascinating here is that Mr. Beast realized early on that the YouTube algorithm isn't some malicious gatekeeper.
Right.
It is just a mirror for human attention.
The algorithm didn't arbitrarily decide to promote the video. The audience simply couldn't look away from the sheer absurdity of someone actually doing it.
Exactly. Which proved his own core thesis, which was that effort equals views.
Effort equals views.
Yeah. And he immediately shifted away from generic gaming content and entered what the community called his junk lord era.
Oh, the junk lord era. That was when he started doing these grueling endurance stunts,
Well,
right?
right. Watching the exact same music video for 10 hours straight, spinning a fidget spinner for a day.
It's absurd, but it works.
He understood the psychology at play. Extreme, tangible effort guarantees human curiosity.
Right.
If an audience sees that you are willing to suffer or exert a ridiculous amount of effort for their entertainment, they feel a psychological compulsion to stay and watch.
But capturing attention is just the top of the funnel.
Yeah.
You know, you can have all the eyeballs in the world and still go bankrupt if you don't know how to catch that traffic and turn it into capital.
Yeah, a viral video is just a spike in a graph.
Exactly. The real genius here is how he built a machine to monetize that attention to the tune of billions. The sources actually call his financial strategy the virtuous cycle.
The cycle is remarkably simple in theory, but almost impossible for most creators to stomach in practice.
Why is that?
Well, step one, get a sponsor to pay you. Step two, take that entire sponsorship check and give the money away in a massive, highly visible spectacle.
Which feels super risky.
It is. But step three, the sheer scale of the giveaway makes the video go incredibly viral. And then step four, you take all the generated ad revenue, plus the even higher tier sponsorship money you can now command for the next video.
And you just roll it right back in.
Right, you reinvest all of it into an even bigger spectacle.
Wait, I need to pause you there because I understand the concept of reinvesting profits. But the numbers in these financial breakdowns are insane. Today, his flagship videos cost upwards of $3 million to $4 million each to produce.
For video, yeah.
So where is that upfront cash actually coming from before the video even airs? Like, how does someone spend $4 million on a single YouTube video without going massively into debt?
It requires an extreme level of leverage and cash flow management. Because of his track record, he can pre-sell integrations to brands for millions of dollars by guaranteeing them a specific number of views.
Oh, wow. So he's essentially operating his own internal television network.
Exactly. He takes that guaranteed brand money, combines it with the steady residual AdSense revenue from his backlog of thousands of older videos, and pours it straight into current production.
That is wild.
And he operates out of a 50,000 square foot studio complex. He utilizes 325 cameras, 5 miles of fiber optic cabling, and employs over 250 people.
Like a literal Hollywood lot.
Yeah, remember his real-life Squid Game recreation? That one video cost $3.5 million to make.
And he famously says he reinvests everything to the point of stupidity.
Yes, to the point of stupidity.
In fact, the sources mention that to maintain strict financial discipline, he doesn't even control his own bank accounts. He leaves that entirely to his mother and his chief financial officer.
Right, he actually lives inside his studio complex.
Which is crazy. He isn't buying the mansions and the luxury cars to build a personal real estate portfolio. He buys them purely as props to give away in the next video.
Yeah.
But I do have a question here. If he's reinvesting everything to the point of stupidity and routinely losing tens of millions of dollars on single projects just to grow the audience, at what point does he stop being a content creator and start being a dangerously over-leveraged tech CEO?
Well, that assumes he's still playing by the rules of a traditional digital media company. And he has moved far beyond that.
How so?
The critical pivot happened when he transitioned from purely making digital content to creating consumer packaged goods. We're talking about physical products.
Right, like the chocolate.
Exactly. He launched Feastables, his chocolate brand, which was projected to hit $375 million in revenue by 2025. Then he launched Mr. Beastburger, which scaled to 2,000 virtual locations practically overnight.
I remember that happening everywhere all at once.
Yeah, and recently he partnered with Logan Paul and KSI to launch Lunchly, which is a direct competitor to Lunchables.
So basically the multi-million-dollar videos are essentially just loss leader marketing campaigns for the physical chocolate bars and snack kits.
Exactly the mechanism at play. Mr. Beast is no longer reliant on hoping the YouTube ad revenue payouts remain stable. He has turned himself into the platform.
Right.
When a traditional company launches a chocolate bar, they have to spend millions buying advertising space on television or social media to convince people to buy it.
But he doesn't have to do that.
No. When Beast Industries launches Feastables, they don't buy ads. His 485 million subscribers are the market.
The video is the commercial, the entertainment, and the distribution channel all rolled into one.
Exactly. And the financial world recognized the power of this closed-loop system. By early 2026, his conglomerate, Beast Industries, raised $200 million at a staggering $5.2 billion valuation.
Just incredible.
That made Jimmy a billionaire at age 26, with an estimated net worth around $2.6 billion today.
That transition from moving digital pixels to moving physical goods is wild. But there is another pillar to his empire that is perhaps the most famous and definitely the most debated in these sources.
The charity.
Yes. Because with billions of dollars and hundreds of millions of eyes, Mr. Beast realized that the ultimate viral hook wasn't enduring physical pain. And it wasn't just giving away private islands. It was gamifying charity on a global scale.
The economics of his stunt philanthropy are really fascinating. It started relatively small in 2017. He secured a $10,000 brand deal from an app called Quid,
Right.
and instead of keeping it, he just handed the entire 10 grand to a homeless man.
Wow.
From a purely algorithmic standpoint, the genuine, unscripted emotional reaction of the recipient was an incredible retention hook. People watch the entire video just to see the moment of impact.
Because it's real emotion.
Right.
Yeah.
It artificially inflates the average view duration, which signals the algorithm to push the video to more people.
And he took that simple psychological hook and just scaled it. We saw massive crowdfunding successes. Team Trees raised over $24 million for the Arbor Day Foundation.
Yeah.
Team Seas raised $34 million to remove ocean trash. And in 2025, the Team Water campaign raised over $41 million for WaterAid.
He even created a dedicated channel, Philanthropy, run by his executive director, Darren Margolius. The structure there is designed to be highly transparent.
Right.
100% of the advertising revenue, brand deals, and merchandise sales from that specific channel are donated directly to charity.
That's huge.
The impact is undeniable. I mean, they've built 100 wells across Africa, they've paid for 1,000 cataract surgeries to cure blindness, and bought hearing aids for 1,000 deaf people.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. When you read the commentary and the criticism of this, and there is a lot of it across these articles, people accuse him of creating quote-unquote charity porn or performative altruism.
Yeah, that's a common critique.
And honestly, stepping back and looking at the mechanics of it, is there a dystopian undertone here? I mean, it feels a bit like a sci-fi novel where a person's access to basic health care or a whole village's access to clean drinking water relies entirely on whether a 20-something YouTuber can get enough clicks and ad revenue on a video to pay for it.
Well, the philosophical critique is certainly present in the discourse. Critics point out that his stunts bypass the systemic inequalities, corporate exploitation, and political failures that cause poverty and lack of healthcare in the first place.
Right, they say it privatizes public welfare for entertainment.
Exactly. But if we look at the defense from Mr. Beast and his team, their stance is entirely pragmatic. Their argument is essentially, yes, the government should be fixing these issues, but they aren't. We have the resources, so we are.
Right, they're just doing it.
From their perspective, the wells are physically built, people actually have their site back, and the money went directly to those who needed it.
Right.
To them, whether it was framed as a YouTube spectacle to fund it is completely secondary to the tangible results.
It's a heavy debate, and it really highlights the immense power he wields. But it also perfectly sets up the friction we are seeing in the final stack of reports today.
Yeah, the inevitable clash.
Because we have to ask the critical question. What happens when an empire built on a hyper-optimized, perfectly edited digital world violently crashes into the messy, unpredictable reality of the physical world?
You get systemic failure. Over the last couple of years, Beast Industries has been dogged by severe controversies that actually threaten the foundation of that $5.2 billion valuation.
And all these controversies share the same root cause, right?
Yes, the ultimate scaling problem.
The biggest flashpoint is undoubtedly Beast Games. In 2024, he signed a historic $100 million television deal with Amazon Prime to create the biggest reality competition series ever produced.
1,000 real contestants competing in a physical arena for a $5 million prize.
But the production of that show resulted in a massive class action lawsuit from 5 of the contestants.
And the allegations detailed in the legal reports are severe.
Yeah, they are.
The contestants cited chronic mistreatment. They alleged they were systematically denied adequate food, water, and sleep. They claimed they were deprived of their personal medication.
Just completely unacceptable conditions.
There were allegations of sexual harassment among the cast and incredibly dangerous working conditions. One contestant, who worked as a wrangler on the set, reported seeing a participant's sleeping bag completely covered in excrement because the portable toilets on set had only been emptied once in 4 days and were overflowing.
And the response from Mr. Beast's team was basically to point at external factors. A spokesperson cited the CrowdStrike global IT outage, which happened to occur around the time of filming, as well as extreme weather and unexpected logistical issues.
Right.
But I really have to push back on that PR defense. Okay, I get that a global IT outage is a logistical nightmare for computers. But can you really blame a software glitch for contestants allegedly being denied basic human rights, basic hygiene, and their daily heart medication on a $100 million Amazon television set?
Yeah, it doesn't quite hold up.
No. That sounds like a fundamental failure of human management.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is exactly that. It's the friction between moving pixels and moving people. This is a company that started as a small group of friends obsessing over video retention metrics in a bedroom.
Right.
Suddenly, that group has morphed into a multi-billion-dollar corporate conglomerate tasked with managing thousands of human beings in physical space.
Which is a totally different skill set.
Completely different. The skills required to hack the YouTube algorithm and edit a highly controlled viral video are entirely different from the skills required to safely manage human resources, legal compliance, risk assessment, and basic human welfare on a massive physical production.
When you scale this fast, you can't oversee every detail. You just lose quality control. And looking at these sources, we are seeing that friction on two distinct fronts: product quality and personnel vetting.
Let's look at the product side first.
Yeah, the transition to consumer packaged goods hit a wall recently with their Lunchly snack kits. They faced massive consumer backlash when people started opening the packaging and finding mold in the products well before the expiration dates.
Which is a huge issue. Making a video means managing data. Making physical food means managing supply chains, FDA regulations, and shelf life.
Exactly. And we saw similar logistical oversight internationally, too. Mexican authorities accused his team of conducting an unauthorized commercial shoot at ancient Mayan ruins.
Yeah, claiming the production crew climbed restricted, protected structures just to promote Feastables chocolate.
Again, it's a failure to adapt to the rules of the physical world.
And then there is the personnel front, which has been incredibly damaging. In April 2026, a former employee named Lorraine Mavromatis sued Beast Industries for sexual harassment, gender discrimination, and wrongful termination.
And she alleged she was fired shortly after returning from maternity leave.
Yes. And this wasn't an isolated complaint. The sources note that prior editors had also publicly cited a toxic and abusive work environment behind the scenes.
The lack of corporate infrastructure and vetting extends to his inner circle as well.
Yeah, it really does.
He faced immense scrutiny when his longtime childhood friend and trans colleague Chris Tyson was fired following allegations of grooming a minor.
Now, Donaldson publicly condemned the behavior and launched a third-party investigation, which later claimed there was no basis for sexual misconduct with minors at the company.
But it's still a massive PR crisis.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's had to navigate the unearthing of his own past use of homophobic slurs in videos from when he was a teenager.
Right. He attributed the language to growing up in the Bible Belt and has since denounced it, but it definitely adds to the friction.
It's just a constant barrage of reality checking the digital persona. What all of these controversies highlight is that Beast Industries is experiencing the brutal growing pains of a massive multinational corporation.
Absolutely.
But they're being forced to play out those growing pains under the microscope of an audience that expects the flawless, philanthropic, perfectly edited, feel-good persona that Mr. Beast projects in a 10-minute YouTube video.
The tension is unavoidable. You can meticulously optimize a thumbnail to get the perfect click-through rate, but you simply cannot perfectly optimize human logistics or human behavior.
So what does this all mean for you? As we look at this entire stack of sources, from the algorithmic triumphs to the massive lawsuits, the core takeaway is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Jimmy Donaldson has absolutely proven that relentless dedication to data and audience retention can build an independent media empire that rivals, and perhaps even surpasses, traditional Hollywood.
He fundamentally changed the rules of the game.
He did. But he is also proving that when you try to move physical reality at the hyperspeed of the internet, the human element is usually what breaks first.
And yet, despite the friction, the empire is only getting wider. The ambition hasn't slowed down at all.
Which brings us to one final detail from the financial reports. In early 2026, Mr. Beast acquired a fintech app called Step. The stated goal of the app is to teach teenagers financial literacy, to help them manage their money, open accounts, and build credit.
Which leaves us with an incredibly important and perhaps our final provocative question. We have watched Mr. Beast conquer digital media. We've watched him disrupt the fast food and snack industries with massive supply chains.
Well, right.
We've watched him completely redefine global philanthropy. But if the most influential entertainer on the planet is now literally becoming the bank for the next generation, at what point does a YouTube channel stop being a media company and start functioning like an unregulated nation state?
Now, there's a thought to keep you up at night. The transition from a teenager cracking the code on a casino slot machine to a billionaire owning the entire casino and the bank that funds it. We will leave you to mull that over until our next deep dive.